morning sensei will be assisted by Reverend Akiko Okada from Pitsui. I'll begin with the sutra chanting.
People who gathered here thankfully, miraculously, we are encountering the benevolent teachings of the Tathagata that Miya Murai has made a 48 great compassionate original vows for each of us, living, action, sentient beings, since the time immemorial, and has vowed to build the pure land for our salvation and honor. When Shakyamuni Buddha here in this world and preached the vows to sentient beings about Miya Murai, the venerable high-ended priests of each era inherited this lineage of Nembutsu teachings and revealed the Dhamma. And finally, of the donations honor, Shinran Shonin wrote the Kyogyo Shinsho and was honored for the true and genuine meaning of the vows for us. Now we are encountering the Dhamma at the front of this working of common causes and conditions in this impure world. We live in the days of bliss and the light, of the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha. Now that we have come across this congregation, our feelings of gratitude for Amida Buddha and Master Shenron have finally renewed. Let us all look up the virtues of the Tathagata's great compassion and rejoice in the past outstanding virtues of the joy seven eminent masters. We also would like to line up in that lineage of Jonah Shishu with reciting Nembutsu with all our hearts. Namu Amida. I would like to speak about respectively Higashi on November 27, 2022, Shaku Ichino. On this day, in holding of Onko with expressing the true gratitude for Shinran Shonin through his Memorial Day, people who gathered
So now we have offering incense.
It was at that time I spoke at Higashi Hongwanji for the first time, and whenever I attend the service at Higashi Hongwanji, although we follow the same Shinran Shonin's teachings, the tradition is a little bit different. So like and the way of decorating the altar, the chanting. So I always feel it's very rare opportunity to attend the service. And today too, I thought the chanting was so beautiful, and it was great to honor and Shinran Shonin in this sermon service. And I mentioned that I was at the Hilo Betsuin. Then after that, I left the Big Island and served at the temples on Kauai and our headquarters in Honolulu. Then I returned to Big Island last year. I'm very pleased to be able to come here again and share Shinran Shonin's Dance teaching with you. So today we are observing the Hoon Ko service. So this is the memorial service for Shinran Shonin. He passed away on November 28th, 1262 in the old lunar calendar. And in the new solar calendar, it was January 16th, 1263. So he passed away just 760 years ago. And therefore, this Hoon Ko service is the 761st memorial service for Shinran Shonin. Actually here, today is November 27th, but in Japan, today is November 28th, the day, exact day of Shinran Shonin's memorial. And I just heard from Okada Sensei that today, the Higashi Hongwanji in Japan, so we are Honzan, is observing the Hoon Ko service too. So let me briefly talk about the life of Shinran Shonin. He was born in 1173 in Kyoto, Japan, during the Heian period. He was ordained at the age of 9 and entered monastic life, studying on Mount Hilo, the center of Buddhist studies in those days. He studied and practiced on Mount Hilo for the next 20 years. However, in spite of all his effort, he couldn't achieve enlightenment or spiritual fulfillment. On the contrary, the more he practiced, the more he became aware of his imperfect part. He was there for 20 years, but when he was 29 years old, he was determined to leave Mount Hilo and to find another way. After he came down from Mount Hilo, he met Honen Shonin and became his disciple. Honen Shonin's teaching was different from the ones that Shinran Shonin practiced on Mount Hilo. Honen Shonin taught people just say the Nembutsu and be saved by Amida Buddha. Shinran Shonin learned the teaching of Nembutsu and finally found a new direction in his life. Honen Shonin's followers were growing in very large numbers, and they were frequently criticized by the older established schools of Japanese Buddhism. As a result, the Nembutsu teaching was persecuted, and then Honen Shonin was exiled to Tosan province, the present Shikoku or Kochi prefecture, and Shinran Shonin to Echigo province, the present Niigata prefecture. He was pardoned later, but he couldn't see Honen Shonin again. After that, he moved to Kanto region with his wife, Lady Shinni, and the family, and propagated the Nembutsu teaching there for about 20 years. Then he returned to Kyoto, wrote many books, including the Kyōgyō Shinsho, which includes Shōshingen we chanted today, and Wasan's, and many other books. And he passed away at the age of 90 on November 28th, 1262. So, what did Shinran Shonin do? And what did he say in his life? The Shinran Shonin revealed the teaching of Nembutsu and Amwamida Butsu in his life. Then it is said that Shinran Shonin's life was full of hardships, and that he has been highly respected not because he lived a life of great success, but he firmly walked his life with the Nembutsu while facing and overcoming hardships. He was exiled. He needed to part from his teacher Hoden Shonin, and I cannot talk about everything, but he had some other family problems too. As far as we read Shinran Shonin's writings, he didn't grumble those events. Instead, he firmly lived his life with the teaching of Nembutsu. So in this form of service, it's important to remember the life of Shinran Shonin and to listen to his teaching once again. By the way, as a Jodo Shinshu minister, I have had lots of opportunities to deliver Dharma message like today and to share Shinran Shonin's teachings. However, through my ministry, I also learned a lot from many temple members and Nembutsu followers in Hawaii. In other words, many people shared with me how Shinran Shonin's Nembutsu teaching supports their lives. And today, I briefly share the life of Shinran Shonin. And in order to talk about the teaching of Nembutsu a little bit more, I wanna share my experience with you and talk about one of the episodes that someone shared with me in Hawaii. About 15 years ago, I moved to Hawaii from Japan and started my ministry. And as I mentioned, my first assignment was Hilo. Just after I came to Hawaii from Japan, I was surprised that many different Japanese words were still used in Hawaii. Can you think of some of these Japanese words? Do you use some Japanese words in your daily life? Yeah, there are many Japanese words you may think of. For example, bento. This is a very important Japanese word. Yeah. And the shoyu, nishime, and also in temples too, we use some Japanese words like gassho, kyodan, mochitsuki, and so on. Thus, many Japanese words are used here even today. Just after I came to Hawaii from Japan, some temple members encouraged me to practice English a lot, and someone said to me, Reverend Takahashi, you shouldn't use Japanese, you should use only English. And I thought, at that time I was in New York, and I thought, I shouldn't use Japanese, I should use English. Then one day, during the refreshment after the service, I had a refreshment, and I wanted to have shoyu, but I was told I shouldn't use the Japanese word. So, where is soy sauce? Where is soy sauce? But everyone was saying shoyu, Yeah. Then I realized that many Japanese words are used, in Hawaii. Then about the Japanese, I think there are many people who cannot speak but can understand a little because their parents or grandparents spoke Japanese. Actually, some people sometimes ask me about the meaning of Japanese words. Then I sometimes request it to translate Japanese into English. For example, some people asked me, Sensei, I found the old family record book in my house. Then I'm wondering whose names are in this book. Wow, Sensei, I received this letter from my relative in Japan. So I would like to know what is written in this letter. So in those cases, I willingly help them because that is something I can do for them. And once I learned an important lesson while helping, then this is what I wanted to share with you. One day, a temple member asked me, Sensei, what is the meaning of 6時の皆? 6時の皆. Have you ever heard this word? 6時の皆. 6時 yes. Yeah. Yes, when we talk about the time, yeah, we say that 6 o'clock is 6時. Yeah? But the G has another meaning. 6 means a 6. The G, so in this word, G means letters. 6時, 6 letters. The Mina means the name. Yeah, so therefore, in Jodo Shinshu, it is Nembutsu or the Namo Amida Butsu. If we write Namo Amida Butsu in kanji, you can see, Namo Amida Butsu there, and there are 6 letters. So, 6ji means the 6 Chinese characters, Mina means name. So, after someone asked me a question, I said to her, 6ji no Mina means Namo Amida Butsu, which we always recite. Then after I explained it, she said, "Oh, Sensei, thank you very much. I finally found out the meaning of 6ji no Mina." Then I asked her why she wanted to know the meaning of this word. Then she said that she found a Japanese poem in her house. And that poem included the words of 6ji no Mina. Then she showed me the poem on a piece of paper. Then I was very deeply moved by that poem. So I wanna share it with you, and I will read the original one first. Then I will read the English translation. The poem was 父恋し母懐かしと思うとき6時の皆を唱え喜べ父恋し母懐かしと思うとき6時の皆を唱え喜べ In English, when you miss your father, when you remember your mother, recite the name of the 6 letters with great joy. When I heard this poem, various feelings came to me. Actually, this happened when I was in Hilo. So someone who lived in Hilo showed me this poem. Then the lady told me that her parents were immigrants from Japan. She told me that her mother always kept this poem on a piece of paper. About 140 years ago, Japanese immigrants started to move to Hawaii. However, I learned that their working environment was very harsh. They worked really hard on plantations from morning to evening. Yet, they were firmly united and established many Buddhist temples. And they firmly lived their lives listening to the teaching of Nembutsu. So when I heard the poem about the Rokuji no Mina, I couldn't help but imagine how they felt in such a situation. The beginning of the poem says, when you miss your father, when you remember your mother. So I thought of the many immigrants who missed their father and mother who lived in Japan. Today, it takes about only 8 hours, from Hawaii to Japan by airplane. However, in those days, they had to spend a long time to come to Hawaii by ship. And I heard it was not easy to go back to Japan. They must have remembered their hometown or their parents. However, in that poem, after when you miss your father, when you remember your mother, it says, recite the name of the 6 letters with great joy. And when I read this poem, I told the lady that, this is very touching poem. Then after that, the lady shared something else with me. She said, Sensei, I didn't attend temple services before. I just transported my parents to the temple. In my home, my mother always said to me, please put your hands together in front of the family altar, morning and evening. So I reluctantly did that. However, one day, she became ill and passed away. I felt depressed for quite a while. However, through the funeral and memorial services, I began attending the temple, and surprisingly, I started going to my family altar every day. And one day, while I was cleaning the family altar, I found this poem in the back of a drawer. After my mother passed away, I was really depressed. I didn't understand the teaching of Nembutsu. However, I came to feel that my departed mother led me to the Nembutsu teaching. So this is a story the lady shared with me. Actually, I'm not sure what the person who wrote that poem was experiencing or thinking. It may have been written while remembering parents in Japan or parents who passed away. But the lady told me that her mother, one of the first immigrants, carefully kept the poem about the Nembutsu. Then the lady shared that poem and episode with me. But that lady also recently passed away. And she really rejoiced at the teaching of Nembutsu. But she also attained birth in the pure heart. Then, since I was born and raised in Japan and working in Hawaii, I often think about the difference between temples in Japan and temples in Hawaii and other places, such as mainland, Canada, Europe, and so on. Of course, there are many differences. Temples of every country or every denomination have their unique history and customs. However, beyond the differences, there are many similarities regardless of place. So today, I introduced a story in the poem because I wanted to talk about how Shinran Shonin's Nembutsu teaching supports our lives. So no matter where we live, and no matter when we live, we always live our daily lives with the same kind of emotions, such as joy, happiness, sadness, and loneliness, and so on. In addition, we would feel I wanna see my dear father. I wanna talk with my departed mother. Thus, we would miss parents and sometimes feel lonesome. I guess everybody would have this kind of feeling. We encounter different events in our lives, then we have different emotions. However, in every moment of our life, Amida Buddha is thinking about us. Or since we experience difficulties or hardships, Amida Buddha couldn't help but establish a supreme vow to save all of us. So Amida Buddha is always with us. Also, those who passed away reached the Pure Land and became Buddhas also joined Amida Buddha's working and are always guiding us. And if we entrust our heart to Amida Buddha, in other words, if we become aware that our lives are supported by the wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha, we would be able to think that everything in our lives is precious events under Amida Buddha's compassion. After we become aware of Amida Buddha's working, we would live our daily lives, remembering Buddha's compassion and reciting the name with great joy. Maybe those who some first generation Japanese immigrants had difficulties, hardships in Hawaii, but I'm sure that many of them lived their lives saying Namo Amida Buddha. At the beginning of my message, I read Shinran Shonin's words. I will read it again. Seeing the sentient beings of the Nembutsu throughout the worlds, countless as particles in the ten quarters, the Buddha grasps and never abandons them, and therefore is named Amida. End of quote. So we always put our hands together in front of Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha is the Buddha who certainly saves Nembutsu followers throughout the world. Amida Buddha is the Buddha of immeasurable life and light. And Shinran Shonin told us that he is called Amida because he saves people throughout the world. As I mentioned that I have had precious opportunities of sharing with the Buddha Dharma in various places, and today is a really precious and wonderful opportunity. And thanks to such experiences and meetings with many people, I reconfirm that Amida Buddha's working is universal. Also, when I remember the universality of Amida Buddha's working, I am reminded that he is also working continuously for each of us, and myself included. So today, I have the great opportunity to share the Nembutsu teaching with you at this Hoon Ko service, the memorial service for Shinran Shonin. So let us live our daily lives reciting Rokuji no Mina, the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu. So let us Namo Amida Butsu then. So now let us put our hands together in the show and recite Amida Buddha's sacred name together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you again for today's opportunity.
Thank you, Reverend Babaji, for your inspiring message. At this time, We'll have one song followed by an ending statement. Please rise. Please be seated. I have a few announcements. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Lina Hamakawa as our organist. Thank you, Lina. Also like to extend thanks to David and Donna Kohara, who made a cover for the minister's seat. It's right in the front here. Thank you, David and Donna. Yeah, right. Okay. On December 4th, next week Sunday, there's a BIBF Bodhi Day service which will be held at Hongwanji. That starts at 9 o'clock. On December 11th, the following Sunday, is our Higashi Bodhi Day service. That will be at 10 o'clock. And then the following Sunday, December 18th, is our general cleanup. That begins at 8 a.m. On December 30, we'll be doing our mochitsuki, but we'll only be making mochi for the temple, not for the members this time. Probably do that next year. And on the 31st at 5 o'clock, we'll have the New Year's Eve service here and the ringing of the bell. And on January 1st, at 10 a.m. we'll have the New Year's service here in the temple. Okay, with that, we'll be concluding this service. If you can help close up the temple, and then we'll move over to the dining room for lunch. And today's lunch is Shojin style. Okay, good.